All right, am I working? Am I streaming? All right, cool, 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 cool. Oh, it's gonna be a fun day today. I just got a new toy. Check it out. The Display. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but we need to learn how to do that. But this thing seems pretty cool. I'm a sucker for good packaging design. Check this thing out. So it's got this like little gauge here, and like as it slides, like you can see what the power, like how the little power thing is going to work. It's at like 20% stuff. So this is pretty cool. Like I'm a sucker for a good package. And then there's no instructions, like there's no extra instruction sheet or anything. All the instructions are like on the packaging, which is also very cool. So it's got all your charging directions and all that stuff in a couple different languages. So that is very, very cool. And then we've got some like little sanding sheets here. Comes with. I'll bust into those in a second. I don't know what that's supposed to be for. So it's got a really, really nice case here. All these different little tips, different shaped tips. You can see from these instructions here, like all the different little angles and stuff you can get at. I'm very excited to try these out. But the pin itself is really nice. Like it's nice and solid. Oh, the lid doesn't want to come off, but yeah, it's pretty nice. And then so yeah, when you click it on, yeah, so it's got like a gear meter, and that's just like showing your battery and everything. Yeah, I'm very excited to try this out today. When I was trying to sand some of these Superman parts, they uh, little corners and stuff. I was trying to get in there with my pinky and get some sandpaper in there, and then I tried to use a pair of pliers, pair of tweezers, and I was like, it's 2026. We have solutions for this. And so I picked this up. I can't remember how much it was. I think it was like $40, $30, something like that. I'll put a link in the bio or in the description wherever I do the summary video of this thing. But this is very cool. So yeah, I like the little magnetic. I like a little magnetic catch in the lid. That's pretty neat. So anyway, there you go. I'm gonna try this out today. Gonna move it over to my sanding station. Oh hey, what's up? XS zoom. Does it oscillate along the shaft or horizontal to the shaft? It's parallel to the shaft, so it's just back and forth basically. I also have their other product. Oh, I need to wipe this down a little bit, but I have this other little display like pin sander thing, and it's great for doing flat surfaces. And getting in at some angles, especially with the sponge tips, they kind of bend a little bit, so they got a little flex in the sponge. These are great, but obviously I can't get into all the little tight spaces that I need to. And pinching my pinky finger in this statue a couple days ago just convinced me that, you know what, I'm gonna buy a reciprocating sander. This is dumb. I'm an old man. I shouldn't be injuring myself like this. So here we are. For that, I just love buying stuff for the hobby. I like all I'm finally getting to the point where I have a decent set of hobby tools. And yeah, this reciprocating sander has been on my list for a while. Old school. Check this out. I had a G tool for a long time, and this thing was great until I realized how much it sucks. It's basically a shitty toothbrush, motor in it, and it just oscillates back and forth. It doesn't spin, and I used this for a long time, and it was just terrible. But I didn't know any better, so now I know better. I've gone from that to some. Matter of fact, this is going in the garbage right now. Unless they're bad. Oh yeah, there's a couple batteries in here. Well, they probably did anyway. Yeah, this thing is. Why am I saving this? It's a shame to throw it away though. Somebody might. Maybe I'll just keep it for posterity. I'm a hoarder. I think I have a problem. See, now I have this thing. What am I going to do with it? I'll just leave it in the tree thing. I don't care. Leave it on display. Got a couple extra slots there in the back. It's fine. All right, so today I'm going to spend the day sanding and assembling. Now that I've figured out how to put this base together, they gave me lots of sandpaper. That's awesome. I had a little trepidation about this reciprocating sander, just because I didn't want to get like locked into having to buy, like a bunch of pre-cut sanding pads, But then I realized my wife has a Cricut cutter, and so all I got to do is when I get down to the end, just cut out or just trace out a shape on the paper and scan it in, and then take it into Illustrator. I'll make like a vector file, like a template, and I can just crank out and then I'll just buy some big ass sheets of sandpaper. My wife's Cricut cutter will cut the shit out of it, and boom, I'm in business. It's a nice box. I'm gonna hold on to that box. I'm such a packaging nerd. Yeah, that toothbrush sander was terrible. All right, I'm gonna get in here and get started. I'm just walking around my room, chit-chatting. Oh, let's turn on the exhaust. And I need to wipe this thing down. Hold on. So many things to do. I also picked up a couple contrast paints from Citadel. I don't do a whole lot of contrast painting, but I decided I'm going to give it a shot. Try out some new stuff this year. So I'm going to try out contrast paints, and I want to try out like inks. Like, I guess dealing more with like transparency and like special paints. There's also a technical paints from Citadel that I have in my possession that if I have an excuse to use them, I will. I normally don't, well, not normally. I should say I recently stopped streaming this portion of the projects. We should make sure that sander's topped off while I'm chatting. I already pre-charged it, and it says it only takes like 20 minutes. It should be fast. Oh yeah, what was I saying? I stopped streaming the construction portions of the projects because they are kind of boring. I mean, you're not learning anything watching the sand shit down, you know what I'm saying? But today is my day off, and I have planned to do nothing but this. So I'm just going to leave the stream running, and that way I can talk out loud without sounding crazy, because I'm broadcasting. Otherwise, you just sound like a crazy person. This is already done. Why is this in the box? I forgot where I left off after I got my pinky caught in. Oh, that's what it was. I was standing inside of this thing and got my pinky caught. I do feel one little nick in there, though. Yeah. And I'm going to go over these again, all the ones I've already done. There's that new sander came in last night, or yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to use it yet. So I'm probably going to give everything a once over. Oh, look at that. Apparently I got farther ahead than I thought. And this is going to be a weird This is going to be kind of a weird assembly for this first part. So there's basically like three chunks, three parts to this. There's the main base part. There's this kind of extra crystalline part, and then there's like the smoke cloud explosion part. And so I wanted to get it so that the material separations, because the smoke cloud's a natural break from everything, and I need to do the most amount of work on it by itself to hide all the seams and stuff. So I figured out that if I cut off the keys in the bottom, I can notch it in, because there's a really nasty notch on the bottom of this main base part. I can notch it in without the keys. So that's the plan. But that means that I'll be working on like filling seams and gaps and stuff, and then priming, because I need to prime it behind this crystalline part. So yeah, so I may be bouncing around between like, well, no, now that I got it in two pieces, I guess I can work it in one big piece, because I can also just tack this part on top and just go ahead and hide all those seams as well. So this will all be one gigantic piece that I'll work on as a whole. So it's like smoke cloud and crystals, and then this one's like rocky base and crystals. And then this part goes on over here. This holds up crypto. That, yeah, like that. See, that kind of locks crystal in place. So that actually, no, that's not true. It slides on there, so I can just make sure there's plenty of clearance. And then the rings. See, I can hide this one. I think this piece will be fine. Once I get this one lined up, where's the hole? There it is. Once I get this one lined up and connected and the seam hidden, this will come off and on as one piece once the keys are lined up. So that part's fine. These pieces, however, this one. These, in order to hide the seams, they have to be part of the. I have to glue them in and hide them. So I can still get in there and prime now, but I also wanted to do a nice like gradient paint job on them. And this one dips. And this one dips. So I'm trying to decide if I want to allow those seams to be visible in order to do a better paint job on the whatever these wind things are. So I don't know what to do here. I think I may end up just attaching all the pieces, hiding all the seams, and then just painting around stuff. And then for the little swirls, let's see, this one is technically a continuation of that one. So this one starts down here and kind of comes around like that. I don't know if I just want to make them gray and white, or if I want to add a little bit of color to them. Because I feel like the rocks are going to be, rocky color. The crystals are obviously transparent with a little bit of blue. The smoke is going to be kind of a gray and white. That's very, very cool neutral color. I'm going to put some of the snow texture, the little snow technical stuff. I'm going to put all that on the rocks too, so that's going to look cool. And then this is going to be a glowing yellow. I think I'm going to do this Imperial Fist it's a contrast paint to do the little glowing logo on the front of the base here. If I do that, then I may do that here as well. What's up, Sea Dog? Yeah, man, I'm up. I got a day off today. I decided I want to throw myself into doing the statue, so that's what I'm gonna do. Got a new reciprocating sander. Maybe some good shit. I'm just talking through how I'm gonna put the statue together right now. So, but I think I'm just gonna worry about that when I get there. I do want to think it out though before I get in there and do it, because once this thing gets assembled, once this thing gets put together, that's it. All these pieces need to be sanded down, holes to fill. I got work to do. Got work to do today. Working on my day off. All right, these parts are done. I may go back and review them with my reciprocating sander and check the fit and stuff in a second. But I think I figured out most of this. So then I'll do those parts last. This, yeah. So like I said, I normally don't stream this part of the process. At least not anymore, because it's kind of boring watching me sand things down. But I'm gonna throw a couple hours at this today, so figured I'd bring you guys along for the ride. Trying to use up that PTO time. Oh, good, my sander's all charged up. See how far I can get with this guy. Charge. My goal by the end of the day today, or by the end of this session, I want to have everything. I want to have all the gaps taken care of, all the seams covered, and I want to get primer on this as much as I can. Now I'm also going to have to do a couple extra steps on where those crystals are. First thing I got to do is, after I get everything ready for prime, first thing I got to do is get the crystal parts varnished with some gloss, so that if I accidentally hit them with something, I can wipe it off. I mean, technically I could use like alcohol or something, because it's crystal, so I can strip it. The whole point is to strip it back down to the resin. I don't want to do that as much as I need to. The varnish will bring back the clarity, at least some of it. I used just a regular clear. I didn't use the high clear stuff on this. The high clear I kind of keep reserved for like canopies and visors and that kind of thing, glasses, things that actually need to be transparent. These ice crystals are just mostly transparent, kind of translucent. I guess probably a better description. So I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of prep work on them. Get them all cleaned up. I'll get them varnished. And then I can start the primering. The rock base I'll need the primer by hand to get around the crystals and stuff, because I'm not going to try to mask all that shit off. The cloud I can primer around the crystals by hand and then just use the airbrush. Sometimes using the airbrush though, because all the little nooks and crannies and stuff, and especially in something like this, makes little eddies and like little turbulence, and the primer doesn't get down in there. So sometimes it is better to just brush the primer on. That's why I like using that Vallejo primer though, because it's got a nice leveler in it. And so it doesn't matter if you brush it on or you airbrush it on, it settles down to the same, you know, sort of smoothness. Spots. Sure, it's gonna be rubbing. Yeah, this is not, the most exciting thing to be watching. But I figure there, at some point, I was a beginner and I didn't, I was just kind of winging it, just kind of figuring stuff out. How to get these prints processed and that kind of thing. And so maybe some newbie comes across my stream. That's my hope. But for everybody else, we're just looking for it. Oh, let me get some foam sanding paper. I need to re-up on that. I use a lot of this. Is the D silent? Is it spine? Fade? I don't know. Brand names. Oh, I gotta make it difficult. Cut this in half. But yeah, I use these little foam sanding pads for really curvy stuff like this. So I switched my supports over to using the sphere tipped supports, and it's great because it doesn't leave a pockmark. It doesn't leave a hole. It leaves a little bump instead. And so the downside is now you got a bunch of little bumps to sand down. But sanding down to level versus re-leveling around a divot, like having to sand down to a divot level to clear out a spot, the difference is night and day. Like it's so much faster and easier to do to sand down raised areas down to level. Plus, you're not destroying the texture of whatever you're working on. Like the little spheres kind of right above the texture. So if you're in a really delicate spot, I'm not right now, so I don't give a crap. But if you're on something that you want to preserve the texture, having the raised spheres to sand down, way better. Way better. And yeah, like I said, it looks a little tedious because there's a lot of them, but it goes faster than you think. Because they're just coarse raised little bumps. And then if I have my small sanding things on, literally just a touch, it's gone. I'm just doing this with this foam sander because this thing is really kind of an organic curved shape, and so if I use that rotary sander or any flat machine sander, it's going to make little flat spots. And I don't want that. Just like I said, the little raised things. It also makes it easy to identify what needs to be sanded. It's much easier to spot these little raised things. I need to get better about where I place them, so I'm not trying to sand like I'm doing right now, trying to sand down a high spot in the middle of a low spot. I gotta quit doing that dumb shit. But I'm getting there. We're all just learning, right? I'm just yammering like a monkey in a tree here, so I'm just gonna probably go on mute so I can focus on this. Now I'll leave it run. If I say anything embarrassing, I'm sorry. Normally I'm by myself when I do this. But I do want to show you guys that reciprocating sander. As soon as I get to some flat areas. To relax my fingies. No reason. Actually, I suppose I can charge this thing up. One, two, check, 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 1, 2. Mic check. Someone check on Michael. My battery died. I had to switch to a new microphone. Alright. Yeah, you guys are getting daytime Bobby today. You're not getting been working all day and tired ass Bobby. So fucking strap in. Go. Definitely way more talkative on my days off. I do feel bad though, because like I said, this is not exciting content. At least painting, watching somebody paint is halfway interesting. This is like watching the demolition of a house before it gets rebuilt and painted. Like, nobody cares about the demolition part. Bunch of little supports, structural supports on some of these non-inverted surfaces here. This thing was a weird setup when I oriented it for printing. It looks nice, but there's a lot of weird shapes in here. I gotta get smarter about where I'm putting supports. Dropping them down in these ravines was not a good idea. Especially that one. Actually looking down in these keys that I missed. Really see. They're just gonna Helen Keller this shit. There we go. Feels good. It's just a model mistake. Part of the key sticking in the thing. Alrighty. So for that bit. See how it's much easier to sand down these bumps, and I think it prevents the pull. Like whenever like some pieces get distorted, you know, whenever there's too much pull on them, it makes like little raised dimples. I think the spheres prevent the raised mounds, because it doesn't seem like it's pulling up as much. But once I get these little dots sanded down and out of the way, the surface is pretty uniform. Here. All right. Yeah. Swap out that head on the grinder pen for the 5, or is this a 3 mil tip? I can't remember. Size difference. No, these are 10. It might be double. Yeah, upgrade my charging situation. Everything's USB-C now, which I don't mind. Just gotta accept it and roll with it. Hopefully they're done changing plugs. I think it seems like they're done. Although I thought the lightning cable was going to be, you know, the standard for a while, but apparently it doesn't move as much data or as much power as the USB-C. So now I think the USB-C is going to be where we at least stop for the next, you know, decade, hopefully. Probably being a little optimistic with that estimate, but and I way over support my models. None of this is necessary, probably. But I'd rather have to deal with a bunch of sanding than have a bunch of print failures. So that's kind of my mentality about the whole thing. So much of this could have been avoided had I just not been an idiot. We learned something today. Pay more attention where I put these supports, especially for the ones that are just stability supports, just to keep a print from wobbling. But this boy was thick enough; he would have been all right supporting himself. I'm gonna start trying to minimize how I do my supports from now on, or like I said, at least be a little more strategic when I do over support stuff. That's just not necessary. This is supposed to be a nice soft fluffy cloud though, so make it smooth. Make it smooth. I'm kind of being a little obsessive with this right now. I can probably stop. I'm trying to get better about my thoroughness of my post-printing process though. And so this means that I gotta pick one side of the fence or the other here. I can't be good and fast. Being good takes time. But also, I'm trying to get faster. I just want to be able to make more statues quicker. I haven't decided what my next statue is going to be though. I might work on my Justice League set, but I think I want the Henry Cavill Superman for that. I just don't particularly like that model that Beds released, Henry Cavill. I like this one because it's more vertical. And I enjoyed the James Gunn Superman. I thought it was good. It was a nice, refreshing, change of pace. Some major gaps to fill there. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a nice. I liked the cinematography. I liked the color. The brightness of it. It was a nice change of pace from the grungy, dark superhero stuff that old Zack Snyder was trying to pull off. It was good. Like I said, I enjoy it all. I'm not going to kick it out of bed. I'm just a fan. I'm just happy to. Just a fan of comic stuff in general. And it's supposed to be campy. It's supposed to be cheesy. It's supposed to be fun. People that try to make it more than that, you're kind of not understanding what makes it good, or what makes it fun, I should say. It's not high cinema. It's not like Oscar-winning performances or anything. It's just explosions and action and weird sci-fi craziness and tight costumes and cheesy lines, and just fucking enjoy it. You just turn off your brain, stop thinking about it, enjoy it. It'll be fine, I promise. And that's kind of how, that's how I kind of view the whole comic universe in general. It's just supposed to be nonsense, so just enjoy it. Which is also why I really enjoy making these statues, because this was inconsequential nonsense. It's a way to kill some time. Keeps me from doing other things, and I really enjoy it. It's something that I think has been my calling in my life, just personally, just from what I was interested in as a kid, but what I did as an adult, as a job and as a career, and just to be able to circle back to working with my hands and working with 3D, and the chemistry of it, the science of it, just the 3D modeling, just everything, the whole process is something that I don't think I will ever get tired of, because it's basically everything I've ever been interested in my entire life. Started off life as a 3D animator, 3D designer, 3D modeling on 3D Studio Max, stuff like that back in the day. And yeah, it's good times. Like I said, I've always loved comic stuff since I was a kid. My family was really poor, so I never really got to, I would borrow comics from friends and have to get them back, and I never really got to deep in it. But I drew a lot of characters. I drew a lot of Spider-Man when I was a kid. And then when I was in high school, I got into art, sculpting and working with clay, and I never made people. I made weird random clay things. But I got an art scholarship to go to college and pursue a fine arts degree. That really wasn't my jam. And so I got into 3D modeling and animation. And I was always a science nerd, so the whole idea of UV curing resin and the machinery and taking care of the machine, and building a enclosure, and just all of it. I just fell in love with the whole process, the whole thing. And a few years in, there's no sign of slowing down, except I'm running out of room. I'm running out of places to put statues, so I'm gonna have to put up some more shelves. I got some ideas for that though. Kind of just waiting for the spring, waiting for stuff to warm up so I can cut wood and do all the stuff I need to do outside without it being cold. At least that's my excuse. The reality of it is, I'd rather just be doing this. I have to build a bunch of cat shelves too, while I'm in the shelf making mode. We just got two kittens and a adult cat in the house now. So yeah, they need stuff to climb on. Tired of them tearing up the kitchen furniture. I'm gonna build them a cat wall. Well, like a cat atrium, really. It's gonna be like a vaulted 2-story deal. So I'm just waiting for the inspiration to hit. But I know once it does, you guys won't see me for a couple weeks, because I won't be working on statues at the same time. So I gotta plan a break to go do that. It should only take a couple weekends. I'm not going crazy, but it's gonna be construction. It's gonna be paint. Got to rent some scaffolding to get up high and not fall. So it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a to-do, but it shouldn't be more than a couple weekends. Actually, I might take some time off work, like take 3 or 4 days off work and just knock it out. Once I get a plan in my head, and I want to do a 3D model of the area, so I can figure out like a scale, like a scale 3D model. I can figure out where I want to put the ledges, the cat ledges. I want to make a design of some kind so it looks nice, because it's right in the entryway of the house, right in the foyer area or whatever you call it. And so I want it to look cool. I want it to be a little special. I'm trying to talk my wife into letting me do a Lord of the Rings kind of themed setup. Which I thought would be cool. Then I thought about going really hard and wiring in, like running electrical to each of the shelves, each of the cat shelves, so that they put some LEDs, and so they light up underneath when the weight of the cat is on them. I have to get a bunch of, weight sensors, weight triggers. I did think about going that hard, which, I don't know. It's still on the table. It's not like I've talked myself out of it. Just an idea I'm rolling around. But I want to do like little hobbit doors for the cats, little cat doors. In the bedroom doors so the cats can come and go. But they'll be like little round hobbit doors, which I thought would be fun. And I've already found a model. I just have to, I've already found a kit, like a door kit. It's a little round hole for a cat. I'll just, add some foam and some paint to them and just make them like little hobbit doors. And then I'll build like a big tree kind of thing in the corner, like a cat tree. Make it look kind of like an elven Lord of the Rings elven kind of stuff. That's my thing. I do think I just want to go hard on it. I do. I think I want to go just ham. So that might be my summer project. I mean, anybody can put up cat shells, but I'm trying to make the shit look like Rivendell. That would be very cool. I could do a bunch of like elven, like gated archways and stuff on the ledges. Or at least a little trim, like a little trim on the edge, on the shelves. I've got a little Gandalf statue. I could 3D print paint a little Gandalf, put him in there somewhere. Cats might eat him though. That's probably a bad idea. I am definitely afraid that the cats can discover chewing on resin, and then A, my statues, will have to be defended, and B, I don't want to kill my kitties. I guess I should have made that A. Don't kill kitties with resin. And then B, I have to figure out a way to protect my statues. Gouge the little spot right here. Trying to avoid that. My finger's too big.
Yep, I've got to get better about putting supports in these little spaces.
All right. Whew. All right. Let's go see what we got. Let's go see what we're working with. I gotta get these other little pieces done too. But for these, I'm gonna use the reciprocating sander. It's a lot of flat spots. Take a little break and get my sander set up. All right. Gonna try out this new sandy pen. Sideways sandy pen. Very excited. Yeah, apparently I'm a fan of this company because this is the second product that I own. One, two, three. Good. Can't tell when it's flat. Wait, what grit sandpaper did I grab? Seems like 1,000 grit sandpaper. No wonder. I was like, why is this not shaving off like it should be shaving off? I grabbed. I didn't even look at the grit. I just was too fascinated by the tips of the things. All right, we're gonna go with this. 180 might be a little too brash. Let's 280, 400 is my go-to. But I think for this, no, we're gonna go 400. 280 is probably gonna be leave too many scratches. Got a 400, a 600, 800. Okay, so they just gave me a whole sample pack of these little thingies. I wonder if they sell just sheets that I can run through that Cricut cutter and cut some templates, cut these out myself. Like, I wonder if Display or however you, maybe the D is silent. Maybe it's just Spay. Anyway, maybe this company sells these little sheets in whole pieces, whole sheets, and then I can just Cricut cut myself whatever my most popular size is. All right, so getting these little sandy stickies off and on of these little tips is going to require some patience. There we go. This ought to work better. so I don't think I had it. I don't think I had it fully engaged. We're learning. We're learning as we go. Oh wow, that's much better. Look at me. I was being a dumbass. This is how you're supposed to use it. Wholly unnecessary right now, but fun. Make the curves right. Whew. All right. I gotta remember to breathe. I'm just sitting here holding my breath, concentrating. I'm gonna finish this last one, and then I will take a lunch break, feed kittens, find something for myself, and then I will restart the stream. Yeah, I'm not sure what this swirly bit's supposed to be. Wind, I guess? I just don't want to make it so, I don't know, monotone on the bass. But then again, I mean, you know, Superman can be bright blue and red, so it's not like it'll be lacking of color. So maybe I will just keep it simple. It's nice to come to a decision before I close it all up, though. But I think the way I gotta build this thing, it wouldn't matter anyway. I think I'm gonna have to paint this all in one piece. Just gonna see what happens. Cross that bridge when we get there. I heard this monk dude say in an interview on it's a YouTube podcast, Diary of a CEO or something like that. He was saying that people tend to project forward and put their body in places, put their mind and body in places where they're not there yet, and that often causes trouble for where they are in the present. You can't be in two places at once. And for some reason that stuck out to me. So I try to think ahead, because I've always been kind of a planner, especially for doing stuff like this. You kind of do have to think a little bit ahead. But I do want to, you know, kind of be mindful of it now, that I'm not like obsessing over stuff until or before I get to the point where I can be actionable about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not at this point yet where I'm worried about how I'm going to paint this thing. In my mind, I am a little bit, but I'm trying to stay focused on right now making it look good. We'll do another round of sanding once I get these holes patched up. When I get to the filling the gap stage after lunch. Ooh, and I gotta let this thing charge. some of these supports I used the new auto supports in Lychee, and so I do have some spots that are random, but as far as placement of these supports goes, I don't think I like the auto business. At least not for the outside. These are for the inside, of course, like finding islands. But beyond that, I think I'd rather make decisions on what parts of the model actually get screwed up. Because some spots are easier to sand than others. Look at where I'm going, not where I've been. About to die. Oh, I gotta patch holes and do one more quality control anyway. Oh man, I gotta wipe my hands and stuff off. Tracking dust everywhere. That's gonna be a wild charge. Go grab some food. And make sure the other organisms in my house have eaten. And then I'm gonna come back and quality check all this stuff. Start filling gaps. Yep. Start. Start filling gaps. Do another round of sanding. And then glaze the crystal, clean and glaze the crystal bits. Glaze and varnish, I should say. Clean and varnish all the little crystals. I need to double check. I might need to do some sanding on them. Then I'll start primering down at the base. That'll just do all with the brush. Whoops. Ooh, careful. Let's not lose that. Everything stays put. Yeah, the rings I can keep. These top rings I can keep as a separate piece. The bottom rings I'm gonna have to attach and hide the seams and sand. But that is for the afternoon. So I'm gonna stop the stream, and I will be back on in probably an hour or so. Like I said, just grab a bite to eat and get ready for the next stage. So till then, take it easy.